and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie and
Emily. Hey everybody.
We are excited to share with you today a couple of tips on the flying geese in the hoop from our Make Yourself at Home quilt projects. The fun, unique thing about this is making a flying geese in the hoop is so simple and easy and
so
accurate.
Quick.
I love how accurate it is. So I'm going to let Emily take it away. She's going to demonstrate on the machine here how you would go about doing this.
So first off, in your book, it's called Becky's Flying Geese. So that would be the block that we are stitching. Here I have stitched just the template for you so that you can see this is the very first stitch that it does. It stitches your template so you know where you're going to be placing your fabrics. So your very first piece of fabric that you place is your first piece is this blue one. It's going to make one of the geese. So you're going to place it face up, completely covering this first triangle right there. And then we're going to put that back in the machine and show you what it stitches.
And while she's getting that set up, I do want to note you can print off step-by-step instructions for this on the CD.
Correct.
Sweet.
So you can see it stitches this line right here is what we just stitched.
And we did it in black thread so you can see it.
So you can see it. You definitely not want to use black thread. It'll show through your project. But so it stitches this line right here, and then you're going to trim off this extra bit close to the stitch line with some scissors, just like that. And then you're going to take one of the background pieces and you're going to lay it face down. So your pattern side of your fabric is going face down, and you just want to line it up just along that line, and then pop it back into the machine and stitch that next stitch, which will just tack it down.
So fun to watch. I love watching the machine.
It's just like magic every time.
And the cool thing is it gives you an accurate 1/4 inch seam every single time you do this.
Yeah, so everything will line up exactly and they will all be equally spaced. So then we have tacked that fabric down, and then we just pull it up, and you just want to either finger press, or if you have a mini iron, you can use the mini iron. There's also like starch pens, which were really good, will help you give you a nice flat project in the end.
The folding fabric pins, yes.
Those are
fabulous.
way nice. So yep, you're just gonna fold it over like that, and then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side.
So you're gonna do a placement line again.
Yes, a second placement line for the other side of this one. And then just like we did with the last one, stitches the placement line, and then this time when you trim, you're going to trim off this bit of the blue like we did from the other side, but then you're also going to continue up and trim off this little strip of your other background piece.
Okay.
So you'll trim this piece of fabric to your stitch line, and then you're going to continue and trim.
So you essentially can make an imaginary line all the way across there if you like.
Yep, just continuing on and trimming off all the excess fabric up to that line.
And the benefit of trimming this excess off is, first of all, bulk, right? Gets rid of that bulk. The second thing would be coloring. If this were really dark, or this were really white, and you're outside, you did a flip where this is really dark, you would be seeing that,
see a little
and you don't
bit of
want
a shadow underneath there.
So to hide the shadow, you do this trimming. That's a really important thing.
Yep, and then just like we did with this piece, you would lay this piece down right there along the stitch line.
And please note that she centered that along the stitch line, not
the cut
along
area.
this whole area. Along the stitch line there. Okay.
So you center it along the stitch line, and then same thing, you just stitch your tack down and flip it over.
So why the stitches? Tell us what a starch pen is. Linda would like to know.
We did a Tuesday tip a few weeks back about the starch pens, but it's a pen that has some liquid in it with some starch, and you just run it along. I'll show you on here. So
Looks like
just
a paintbrush
like,
almost.
almost like a
with
paintbrush.
a reservoir of water.
And you would just run the starch, you just squeeze it a little bit, get the little bit wet with that starchy liquid, and you would just run it like this along your stitch line. And then when you flip this piece over, it gives you a really nice crease right there. It just helps hold your fabric over.
They're almost like magic. I love them.
They are
we
way,
use them all the
way
time.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So once you've laid your next piece and stitched it, you're going to flip it open as well.
Flip it open just the
Okay.
same way as you would this one. So
That is fabulous. Once you get that, you just flip and flip and flip, and you just keep doing that until you
just
finish,
continue that
right?
same process.
Sweet. So then you'll end up with something that looks just like this when you pull it out of your hoop. And I've used a marking pen with red so you could see it does this outline stitch when it's completely finished for you. So you could do two ways. You can take and put a ruler and cut on that line. But for those of you that have the orange pop ruler or would like to get the orange pop ruler set, this quilt is already made so that you can use your orange pop ruler to cut this size out. So this is a 4.5 by 6.5 inch cut. Look how simple that was. All I did was place the ruler right along those stitches. And then for those of you that have not seen the orange pop rulers, I like to nest one outside. So I've got an extra little bit of gripping power here. And you just stitch or trim the closest to you. And then you rotate your mat. I like to use a rotating mat, and you trim closest to you. Even if you're left-handed, you can do it the opposite way. So it's made for either or. You don't have to be a right or left-handed.
Yes.
And there you have your flying geese, and it's ready. You can see there's the 1/4 inch seams, and it's ready to sew right in your project from this particular point. A lot of fun.
Yes.
Donna says she ordered her orange pop rulers today.
Yay! Way to go, Donna. You're gonna love them. I've just loved them. They're so much fun, and they take the guesswork out of where do I cut? You've made this whole project. You don't want to be messing it up, right? When you're trimming. So if there's any other questions, please comment below. Ask us your questions. We're happy to answer. I know not everyone can get on right at 3, but we would really appreciate it if you show us any of your pictures that you've made already. Maybe you've already made the whole quilt. We would love for you to share. We always love to see what you're doing and your progress that you're making. Thank you so much, and we'll join you next week on Tuesday's Tips with Laurie.